Welcome back to the channel. This is Victor again with another ownership experience video with my Ioniq 5. Today's video is going to be about the first wash that I did with the Shooting Star Gray matte paint and what it's been like living with the matte paint and maintaining it. This past weekend we had a nice and sunny day in Philadelphia, about 70 degrees out. My car just happened to be quite dirty, so I decided it would be a great time to try out my first hand wash experience with my Ioniq 5 with the matte gray paint. The first thing I did was break out the Dr. Beasley's kit, look over the step-by-step instructions, and for this very first wash they actually recommend using the body wash, which is their soap solution, and the matte paint coating, which is their protective coating specifically made for matte finishes. Step 1 is the body wash. You're supposed to use 2 capfuls for every gallon of water. It's recommended to use 3 to 4 gallons in the provided bucket with the red grit guard and wash from top to bottom and then rinse. Step 2 is the matte paint coating. You're supposed to leave the car wet from the rinse at the end of step 1, and then you apply 8 to 10 drops of the protector onto the yellow foam applicator and apply one panel at a time. Then you immediately wipe that panel dry with the provided blue microfiber towel before moving on to the next panel. And then you pretty much repeat until you've done every panel in the car. Step 2 should be done every 6 to 9 months, and that's actually it. The other 2 bottles are specifically for residue removal. Matte paint cleanser is the heavy hitter. You use that on very sticky stuff. Let it sit for 1 to 2 minutes, then gently wipe dry. Do not let it dry onto the car. It's recommended to rinse and reapply the matte paint coating after you use the cleanser. Matte final finish is for light duty only. Think like bird doo-doo. So here's the body wash, which is the soap solution. There are instructions on the back just in case. Here is the matte paint coating, which is the protective coating, also with instructions on the back just in case. My car didn't seem to have any sticky residue that I could see, so we only used the body wash and the coating for this one. After I apply the coating this time, I should be able to skip it for about 6 to 9 months and just towel dry at the end of step 1. On to the car wash. We started off with a quick hose down, and about halfway through the hose down I realized, I forgot to get pictures and videos of the dirty car. So that's why you're seeing some water on the car, and it's why you're only seeing half the car being dirty. The other side's already covered in water. But anyways, we finished the hose down and then applied the body wash all over the car. My 2-year-old son was my little helper, and man, he had a blast out there. We'd never done this together before, so I wasn't exactly sure how he was going to handle it, but apparently he loves washing the car. Maybe your kids will too. He actually woke up the next morning and said, "Car wash." So clearly he wants to go back out there and do it again. Then we hosed down the car, taking off all the body wash and the soap suds, and then I applied the coating with the applicator, and then I towel dried after each panel application. I actually forgot about these door sills until that was all done, and I had to go back and do them. This is what they look like pre-wash. Definitely one of the dirtiest parts of the car, so don't be like me, don't forget them. Here's how it looked after the wash. I think all in all it went great. My son had a blast. I was able to get through all the steps relatively quickly, and in total I think it took about an hour and 15 minutes. But of that time, probably 15 to 20 minutes were just prep and cleanup time, plus some filming and just playing around with my son. So if I were doing it by myself, I could probably do it in under an hour from start to finish. Also keep in mind the protector only needs to be applied every 6 to 9 months, so that probably saves another 15 or 20 minutes. So I'm going to guess maybe the whole thing's done in 45 minutes for those times. I haven't actually hand washed the car in quite a few years. We've been using an automatic car wash place nearby, but I remember spending maybe 2 hours back then to wash and wax. But this matte paint does not get waxed. It just needs the protector every 6 to 9 months. I think the matte paint actually feels easier to clean. Maybe it just wasn't that dirty, but the hose down took most of the dirt off, and then most panels only took 1 or 2 passes with soap and pad. The surface feels smooth, whereas regular paint can feel a little sticky if the clear coat is due for some wax. Maybe it's the hard lines and the creases causing reflections, but I actually see a bit of a gloss finish. Some people refer to it like a satin finish, and I would agree. So on to the maintenance aspect. If you live somewhere where you can hand wash all year round and you don't mind doing that, then this paint finish might actually be less maintenance in terms of total time spent, because you just need to use soap. Then you dry it off and you call it a day. But if you live somewhere where that's not possible, then you'll have to assess whether you can handle the risk of putting your car through an automatic car wash or just not washing the car for a while. And I fall into this category since I live in Philadelphia, where we see at freezing or below freezing temperatures in the winter with snow, which means we get a bunch of road salt getting onto the car. Now, hand washing just isn't feasible for me then due to the temperatures, and I prefer to get the road salt off the car ASAP. So that means I have to take it to my local automatic car wash for the winter months. The Hyundai manual definitely says do not take this matte paint through an automatic car wash. So if you do, it's at your own risk. But I've read some UK owners talking about taking their Gravity Gold matte paint cars through the car washes and having them come out just fine. I also talked to my local car wash owner. He seemed really confident that the paint would be okay due to the soft type materials they use. Supposedly they have quite a few other matte finish cars that go through frequently. So I took the plunge and I actually tested that out. Over a week ago I ran it through the automatic car wash with the no wax option, and to my eye, as the average car enthusiast owner, I can't see any damage, I don't see any scratches, I don't really see any difference in the paint. Now maybe a professional detailer could tell you, but at least for me, I can't. Now originally, I didn't really want the Shooting Star matte paint finish because I didn't know much about caring for matte paint or what that really meant. I had a cyber gray car supposedly in the works. Now, as you know, that deal fell through. Someone else bought the car before I arrived, and so I had to widen my search parameters, and the only things I could find were a lucid blue with black interior or the Shooting Star with the gray interior, and that's if I wanted the car immediately at MSRP. Now, I didn't want to wait any longer. I'd already waited 2 weeks, and that deal didn't pan out. And I also didn't want to risk not finding one at MSRP, so I knew it had to be one of those two. Personally, I definitely wanted the gray interior, and of those two colors, I actually preferred the Shooting Star color. The blue looks great, I just didn't think I could pull that color off. So I bought the Shooting Star knowing there was some risk with the paint, but I decided I would rather risk it with the paint since I wanted that light gray interior. And now that I've actually owned it for about a month, I think the Shooting Star Gray matte paint color is probably my favorite out of all of them. I think it looks great. So far the maintenance seems actually not that bad, but again, time will tell. So I think, in summary, if you typically hand wash your car, this color is going to be easier to maintain, possibly. But if you don't typically hand wash your car, or you live in rougher climates like me, then you'll need to figure out a good winter hand wash option, or take the risk like I am. So, hopefully that helps with your decisions. Thanks for watching.